Sixers fans, welcome back. There is a lot to be really excited about right now as a Sixers fan. And I know you might be saying to yourself, dude, we just beat the 1-6, now 1-7 Pistons by 11. It was closer than it had to be. What are you talking about? And let me explain. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at a K. The goal is to be at 1,000 subscribers before Christmas. I think we can get it done. Help me out, guys. Tell your friends, tell your girlfriends, tell your boyfriends. Tell your parents. Hey, tell everyone. Let's talk about it. Going into last night, thank you to everyone who came out to the live stream. First of all, it was probably the most successful live stream I've had, maybe ever, but definitely this year. But coming into the night last night, I said the Sixers are going to lose this game. Obviously, no Tobias Harris, no Ben Simmons, but no Furkan Korkmaz, no Isaiah Joe. A lot of guys were just out, you know what I mean? We had a lot of dudes who were out, and the way Embiid's been playing lately, I mean, I don't think I could really say Embiid's going to dominate tonight, and he didn't dominate tonight. And looking at the stat line now, Embiid had 19 points. And if you're going to tell me the Sixers would beat any team in the NBA with no Ben Simmons, no Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid only having 19 points, and if we would win, I would say you are out of your mind. There's no way we win that game. I said the Sixers were in for a trap game. One, because they just came off a couple pretty good wins, really impressive wins, actually. And two, because the game on Saturday is a rematch against Chicago, who is a good team, who I'm sure the team is already thinking about. I said this is a trap game. A lot of guys are sick. A lot of guys are out. We're just probably not going to win this game on against Detroit, you know? And I was wrong. I mean, I was completely wrong. We went on the road and won this game, and I am very impressed. One, I have to say I am impressed by Seth Curry. The guy had 23 points. This is 3 straight games of 20-plus points. He has been nothing but fantastic. I mean, this has been his best season as a Sixer, and I think it's probably safe to say this has been his best season in his entire career. This is the first time that Seth Curry has started on a team for 2 straight years, and the same team that is, and he has been arguably our best player this year. Arguably our best player this year. He has been absolutely phenomenal. He's shooting like 60, 50, and 80 streaks. I mean, the dude's unreal. He had a +3 box score plus minus. Everybody had a plus minus except Matisse Thybulle and Embiid. Embiid had a -9, which leads me to Andre Drummond, who had a +20, which was better than anybody else on the team. He had another 10 rebound performance in less than 20 minutes, which is absolutely insane, guys. This dude is an absolute rebound machine. Andre Drummond has been a playmaker. I'm harping on the same things I've been saying all year. Last night, he looked really good again. And originally, I'm like, dude, why are the Pistons fans booing him? Like, dude, he didn't... Maybe Blake Griffin, like, I can see it. But Andre Drummond, like, he played hard. Like, the dude was there, and he was an all-star for you a couple of times. Like, what are we doing getting so pissed at Andre Drummond? It's not his fault. He hasn't, like, developed a modern-era game until this year. My thing about Andre Drummond is... Look, he's never going to be a shooter. He's just not going to be that guy. He can't shoot. Like, it is so abundantly clear that this man cannot shoot a basketball to save his life. So what else does he have to do to be able to survive in a modern era basketball? Pass the ball. And Andre Drummond has shown this year he is a legitimate playmaker. Like, this dude is a facilitator. This dude finds open cuts, finds open men, and makes beautiful on-the-dime passes. Sure, sometimes he probably fits it into a hole or tries to fit it into a hole that is just not going to fit, and he turns the ball over. Yeah, it's going to happen. But he has been way better than I have ever imagined him being at being a passer. Like, seriously. And as a pick-and-roll guy on the defensive end, he has been the best he has ever been. He has been better defensively this year than he has ever been, ever. By a long shot. I mean, defensively, he's never been a good basketball player. And that was the thing holding him back, especially in the modern era basketball. If you can't shoot and you're a big man, you better play defense. And Andre Drummond really could never play D. And so he took this veteran minimum contract because a lot of teams just didn't see use of him. And now, in Philadelphia, he is absolutely making the most of it. His defense has been impressive. He has been honestly, one of the better dudes on defense as a pick-and-roll defender. I mean, dude's getting steals every single time. Every single time. And defensively last night, we looked really, really good. I know Matisse had a couple steals, 3 blocks, I think it was. Dude, the fourth quarter especially, the Sixers defense really amped it up. Shake Milton had a performance. This was the best game of the season for him. He shot 54% from the field, 7 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, which I'll take with Shake Milton. That's 40%. I'll take 40% any day of the week with Shake Milton. He had 16 points. I lied. 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's what we need in 33 minutes of play, too, because he finally got the start. If Shake Milton plays basketball like this, we're going to be really tough to beat. Like, truly, really, really tough to beat. Obviously, Embiid played better in the fourth, but he didn't really play great basketball in general. I'm going to make a video on him. He has been extremely disappointing this year. I think it's pretty obvious that he is dealing with something. Whether it's an injury, whether it's just condition problems, he's dealing with something. I think, without a debate, I think we could probably all agree upon that. I think he's had one game this year with 30-plus points, and it was a 30-point game. And since then, it's just, he's been whack. He's not averaging 20 a game this year, and he's not really playing like an all-NBA center at all, let alone an MVP candidate. So it's frustrating on that end. Tyrese Maxey had a great game on his 21st birthday. Defensively, he played well. He had a couple steals. He just played really good on-ball defense. He's been a way better defender this year, too. He's grown a lot on that end. But his floater game is unmatched. Like, seriously unmatched. Maxey pads for the W. He had 20 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. He played good, man. He played good. He shot 67% from the field, which is awesome. 8 of 12, which is awesome. And 2 of 4 from 3, which is, like, huge. I mean, we love that. We love that. And what's even cooler, dude, is George Niang. He had 14 points. He shot, 36% from the field, 3 of 10 from 3. But he had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and he just seems to be good. And what I love so much about this guy is the grit that he brings to the team. I was watching the post-game interview of Doc Rivers, and he was saying even when Niang's not really hitting his shots, the grit and the grind and mentality that he brings to this team, especially the second unit, is something that the Sixers have never had. I think it's something that we've asked Mike Scott of, but he just was never good enough to provide it, you know? And even when Mike Scott misses his shots, he's nothing. When Mike Scott's not hitting his shots, he is a nobody. And if Mike Scott isn't hitting his shots, he's simply not doing anything. But when Niang isn't hitting his shots, he is still putting up a productive game. He still had a plus 18. He was the second best plus minus on the entire team. And I think it goes to show how important and how valuable he is to this team right now. It's beyond his shot making, which is crazy to say. Like, there were matchups, it was like all second half. It was him against Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant, who's making a ton more money than George Niang. And Niang was getting up in his face. He played some of the best defense anybody else on the team played last night. He was just completely taking on this competitive challenge and was barking at the Pistons all night long. Are you kidding me? Against a 1-7 team on the road after a back-to-back? Dude, that's beautiful. I would die to have a teammate like George Niang. I really think that a lot of what he's doing is showing in the win-loss column right now for Philadelphia. It's amazing to see, man. It's amazing to see. I can't say enough good things about the minivan. George Niang is just that dude. He really is that dude. It's the Niang gang. I'm making that up. I made that up a week ago. If you see that ever blow up, know it was me, guys. Know it was me, because it was me. It was me. Even Paul Reed came in and played some pretty good basketball. He had 9 rebounds. He had 3 offensive rebounds in like 14 minutes. And dude, Paul Reed hustles more than anybody I've ever met. I haven't met him, but if I met Paul Reed, he would hustle more than anyone I've ever else met. The energy that Paul Reed brings is crazy. That's what I'm trying to say. And I know Paul Reed isn't the most talented, but like, he really embodies the out the mud mentality, because he works so much harder than everybody else on the court at all times. And I think it's weird when Paul Reed's playing with Andre Drummond or Embiid, because I just don't really see him as a 4. Like, personally, I would probably roll out a big man of like Niang at the 4 and Paul Reed at the 5, and then you could run Maxey at the 1 and seriously have a 5-out offense that's like borderline lethal against the second unit, you know? But for some reason, the Sixers and Doc Rivers don't do that. So like, that's kind of frustrating. But I just think Paul Reed isn't being utilized the best at the 4. But last night, he just played really hard, and we could have easily lost that game to Detroit. I mean, that's a trap game. Cade Cunningham had a great game. I mean, he had 18 and 10. The dude pulled up from the logo and went splash right in whoever's face that was. It may have been Tyrese Maxey. I don't know. And the Pistons, they're not good. I mean, I think we played that brand of basketball against other teams, and for the most part, we'll probably lose, but we didn't. And a win is a win. And that's what's really important. It's a 5-game win streak right now. We're probably, hopefully, Tobias Harris is ready by Saturday. I don't know, but it's going to be a tough game against Chicago, at Chicago, against a team who 100% wants to beat us. And Chicago's a good basketball club. But I think this past week or two has really shown a lot of signs to be extremely excited about for Philadelphia basketball. I'm not going to sit here and be like they're a championship contender because, I mean, probably not, let's be honest, but this is the funnest team I've ever seen in Philadelphia, ever. And I will take that 10 times out of 10. I want to see a team work hard. I want to see a team shoot the ball, spread the ball out, ball movement, and that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. This is the new Philadelphia 76ers brand of basketball, guys. And I, for one, am completely embracing this post-Ben Simmons era. Completely embracing. I said in my live stream yesterday, if the Sixers trade Ben Simmons to the San Antonio Spurs for DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, and or Lonnie Walker, we are a contender. I really believe that. The one thing this team is lacking is a primary ball handler who can genuinely facilitate and play make, because Tyrese Maxey, as much as I love him, he's not a great passer. He just isn't. It's not a part of his game yet, and that's okay. He just turned 21 yesterday. I've been doing the same rec league ball moves my whole life, and I'm 25. So who am I to say that this kid needs to get better? But DeJounte Murray brings everything. I think he brings a little bit of every element to the game of basketball that the Sixers could really, really use. He is an all-NBA defender. He's averaging over 2 steals a game. He's 18, 8, and 7 right now. He's a great rebounder. He's a great passer, and he's been shooting his career high at 35% from 3 right now. And you may sit there and say, 35%? That's below league average. As a point guard, you need a guy who's going to shoot better than that. Yes, but 35% is better than Ben Simmons' 0%. Yeah, I'm a math wizard. I honestly think DeJounte Murray could really bring that extra punch. Plus, you get Keldon Johnson, who is a microwave bucket getter off the bench, who hustles and rebounds extremely well, and or Lonnie Walker, who is an athletic goddamn freak from Philly. I think that rounds out a Sixers 12-man rotation. And Doc loves running 12 men deep in the playoffs. What better way to allow that to happen than just to get more depth? I really think the Sixers are in a genuine contention area. And what's so great about this right now is that the Sixers can continue to keep winning, which makes it that much easier just to hold on to Ben Simmons and not do anything. Because if the Sixers were, instead of 7-2, 2-7, then yeah, it would be go time to trade Ben Simmons. Absolutely go time. Everybody in the NBA atmosphere would be screaming at Doc Rivers, would be screaming at Daryl Morey, calling for their jobs, calling for their necks because they still had Ben Simmons. But we're 7-2. And it's much easier to hold a guy out at 7-2 than it is 2-7. And this is exactly what Daryl Morey's plan was all along. All along. And this is why I have been on board from the jump. Don't just impulse trade Ben Simmons. Let the team play. And look what's going on right now. This is the best brand of basketball I've ever seen in this city. Don't call for Daryl Morey's head, because Daryl Morey won. We beat Ben Simmons when it comes to this little game that he wanted to play. And now we're continuing to fine him for each game. Isn't that hilarious? Literally, we're just saving up Christmas money, and we're going to just dish out presents to all of Philadelphia for being patient and trusting the goddamn process, guys. It's always been about trusting the process. Sam Hinkie knew all along that Daryl Morey was going to come in and do this. Sam Hinkie is living in 3022. Trust the process, guys. Trust it. Peace.